Hi everybody, this is Jason from the LASR team, and this is what's new in version 3.2 of the Laser Activated Shot Reporter. The very first thing on our list is that we did add a new report to the Report Center. As always, you can click on the Reports button at the top right. That opens the Report Center, and then you can choose the Session Info report from the drop-down list, and then click Run Report. What that does, it allows you to see raw data from your database, allows you to export it as well, so you can see shooter names, profiles, times, and scores if you have the scoring plugin. Very useful information there. The next thing on the list has to do with our race mode enhancements. Race mode has its own video. You can take a look at that. That'll be linked to in the description of this video. I encourage you to watch that to get all of the nitty-gritty details about that. We'll scrape the surface here just real quickly. If we go and enable race mode here at the bottom and then click on the options link, you can see that there are several things that are different, including the ability to add and remove shooters. If you add a shooter by clicking on the plus button, you can then go in and name the shooters as well. So I'm going to go ahead and add about 4 different shooters here. Then I'm going to name my shooters. Let's use the Three Stooges here. So Larry, and then Curly, and Mo, and then I guess there's 4 of them. We'll do Shemp as well. Okay, and then the next thing you have to do is you need to go and assign targets to those shooters. So there's a quick and easy shortcut right here, this button that says go to target options to assign shooters to targets. I'm going to click it. It's going to take me right over to the target options, and then I'm going to be able to go in and assign shooters to each one, or assign targets to each shooter. So target number 1 is assigned to shooter number 1. Target number 2, let's go ahead and just assign hit to 2. And shooter 3 gets target number 3. We'll keep it simple here. You can assign more than one target to a shooter. That way they're all grouped together on their timesheet as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start the timer. Pretend like I'm 4 different shooters here. And then you can go in and you can see down here at the bottom there are tabs for each one of the shooters. So I have a timesheet here that shows all of the shots for everyone, but then when I click on tab number 1, that shows me just shooter number 1's timesheet, as well as just shooter 1's shots on the target are visible. And just like that, I can switch to shooter number 2, shooter number 3, or shooter number 4, and I can drill into their shots very easily, or go back to view everyone's shots all together. Additionally, if I wanted to save targets, I could come in here, and if I click on Save Targets, I could save all of them all together by giving it a profile name and a drill, or I could turn this option on here that says Save Individual Shooters Targets, and that will use the names that I put in for those shooters, and then it will assign each shooter their own target in the database. So I can go ahead and click on Yes here, and then I can go into the Reports Center and view those targets, and you can see that each shooter got their own target, and it's under their name as well. So if we open one of those, you can see this particular one is saved for Curly, and that was for the drill test as well. So that is just kind of the surface of what's available for race mode. Please do go look at that other video like I mentioned before. There is a new start tone. If you go into settings, you can go and choose the start command to be timer beep 2. That's a little bit of a higher pitched, more shrill sound, just like you would use on a hardware timer at the range. So if you're looking for a little more realism, that would be the sound that you could go with there. And then we already talked about race mode. You can reset your own license. So if you have a computer go down, if your hard drive dies or something like that, and you didn't have a chance to remove your license, you can go ahead and just reuse your license after you load up your new machine, and it will walk you through a couple of really simple steps to reset your own license. And that will allow you to not have to email us or call us or anything like that to get your license reset to recover from a bad problem with your computer there. Couple last things here. There's a visual indication for target down mode now. So if I go and let's turn race mode off for now. We'll turn target down mode on. And if I go ahead and start the timer again and put one of the targets down, you can see that the target went down and it turned red. That setting, if you want to change the color, is the excess shot color here in target down options. For now, that's what we're going to use to control that color. So if you want to change the color your target turns when it goes down, you can change that color right there. All right, and then the very last thing, and certainly not least, is that we did add support for IP cameras. IP cameras are very different than USB cameras. You can't just plug them in and go. You're going to have to set the camera up on your network. You're going to have to do a little bit of finagling with the settings inside of that camera to get the stream available. But as soon as you've got your camera all set up and on your network, then you can point laser at it and you can have it use that for shot detection. So if you already have an IP camera, you can go into the settings, and just underneath where you pick your camera, you can click on add or remove IP cameras. And I won't go into the details about how to set that up here. You can check our online tutorial for that information. But suffice it to say, it does need to have motion JPEG, or commonly called MJPEG, and it needs to be over the HTTP protocol for now. So if you're familiar with IP cameras, that should make sense to you. If you don't plan on using IP cameras, you can just ignore that link and you never have to click it. All right, I think that wraps it up for what's new in version 3.2. Obviously, we have some bug fixes and that sort of thing in here as well. If you have any comments, suggestions, or anything else, feel free to contact us. Thanks for your time. Bye.